Hello and welcome to another edition of UFC Recap. I'm Tom, again with my man Jamie.
Alright.
So today we're looking at UFC 206, which just happened this weekend. To be honest, I mean, a great event despite the fact this pay-per-view went it reminded me a lot of UFC 200 in terms of it went through the mill in terms of the main event changing, all the speculation of who's going to fight. Being Canada, maybe thought they were going to get GSP back. But regardless of all the hoo-ha with DC pulling out and Johnson not getting his shot.
What a card.
What a card.
What a card.
It was incredible.
Incredible card.
I mean, a lot of no-names for the casual fan, but all these guys absolutely brought it and left it all out there in the evening.
I don't think that was a bad fight all night, I'll be honest.
No, main card was absolutely a stormer. We did have, we'll mention it as well, for a newcomer called Lando Venata, which we won't really go into that much in depth for the prelims today because it's just a short little episode, but we are going to mention Lando Venata, or Groovy Lando Venata, as he likes to be called, lightweight contender. He's just turned up with performance of the night with a absolutely amazing
against
spinning
John
lead.
McDessie.
Yeah, hometown guy, so bit of the crowd a bit upset, but they appreciated this man's spinning wheel kick, which was something out of a Bruce Lee movie.
Crazy. It reminds me of the old Barbosa versus Etim.
Yeah.
KO of old.
Mike Goldberg at Henway were all saying the same thing, which is
crazy.
Great minds think alike. So, like I said, with UFC 206, the main event originally was supposed to be Daniel Cormier versus Anthony Rumble Johnson for the light heavyweight title, and it seems to be starting to become an occurring thing. DC pulled out.
Yes.
So we now moved to the original co-main event, which was Max Holloway versus Anthony Pettis for the interim featherweight title. Let's talk about, actually, we haven't talked about it yet, with McGregor now having to forfeit a belt.
Yes.
This fight added some added importance due to the fact that McGregor had to get rid of that belt. What do you think about that?
I mean, it tosses the whole division up in the air, I think. Jose Aldo back as champion. Some people say maybe not undeserved, but maybe a bit unwarranted. I mean, he beat Frankie Edgar for the interim title.
Yep.
Quite convincing, but as Connor said, he didn't go for it. You know, it wasn't a knockout.
No.
It wasn't a finish. It's interesting. How can Connor's point was, he's beaten the champion in 13 seconds. How can he still be champion? I think maybe the UFC should have just put the belt up in the air and said who wants it. Like maybe
because that's
Holloway,
been the
Holloway
case.
Aldo.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if Pettis won his first fight in 145, but I don't know if that.
I like the whole idea of a vacated title when the champion has to give up one belt.
Yeah.
Because that's what would have happened if Henderson beat Bisping in Manchester, because that would have been Henderson's last belt.
Yes.
It would have been put in the air, and the two number contenders, probably Bisping and whoever would have fought for it, which I think is a much better thing. It puts both fighters on a level playing field when one guy shouldn't rightly be in that position, where you're now going to have Jose Aldo versus, well, we'll talk about who won the main event in a bit. But again, him already being on a pedestal, despite the fact he lost his most recent title defence in a dramatic fashion.
Yes.
But anyway, let's talk about the main card. So the first fight of the night was Jordan Mean, local Canadian boy, against Emil Mek, who is a Norwegian lad,
Crazy Viking guy.
Crazy Viking, making his debut in the UFC. Obviously, a lot of prior experience before coming into the world's biggest MMA promotion. But again, both these guys, like every single fight, brought it with a lot of decent strikes.
Great fight.
Yeah. Quite a character, Mek, with his, when you look, you can maybe put him in Game of Thrones, he wouldn't look out of place, would he? Yeah.
I mean, apparently he tried to bring a battle axe to the weigh-ins.
Really? Oh yeah, I heard about that. But again, unanimous decision, 28-29 from all three judges. Pretty solid effort from both lads. Mean did go for a lot of takedowns, landing quite a lot of them, but I think with the amount of strikes landed by Mek, and he also got a submission attempt landed in as well. Again, with that 8-minute 22 control, it was always going to be him every day.
No, he did look a lot better, especially on feet. I mean, he really did look very loose, and he threw his hands quite.
Is this in the welterweight division?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was welterweight.
It was, yeah. So again, a new character added into already stacked welterweight division, which is always good.
A bit of a personality.
Similar to Venata with the lightweight division. Doesn't look all threatening, but when he kicks you, you know you've been kicked.
Yes.
So next fight was, both these guys were scheduled to fight on the UFC 205 card last month, but for one to another, Tim Kennedy's match against Rashad Evans
was
pulled due to
Rashad Evans, some sort of, I'm not sure if it was a medical. I think it was a medical procedure, something wrong.
And Kelvin Gastelum, who
continues to not make weight.
Yeah, this was at middleweight, this bout. Originally, he was supposed to fight Donald Cerrone at welterweight 170, but he again couldn't make weight and stayed at 185. If he just controls, just so yeah, Kelvin Gastelum won this fight in the third round due to a KO, and he looked very, very good. He got taken down 3 times, but again, what do you think about Gastelum? Should he stay 185? Because as Joe Rogan said in his post-fight interview with him, you look really good 185, but do you want to stay? He said he wants to go back to welterweight and prove himself.
I mean, he says he wants to get his stuff together and really apply himself to the welterweight division. It's the question whether Dana lets him. I mean, he's had so many previous failures in terms of making weight. Can he sustain it? Can he have it? If he has a consistent fight, if he has consistent fights at welterweight, I think maybe he gains Dana's trust back.
I think, before we put him into a money fight against a Darren Miner, a Carlos Condit, or Robbie Lawler, because he is capable of fighting any of those guys.
Some sort of insurance.
He needs to fight a couple of gimme guys on a fight night on Fox or on the UFC Fight Pass, and just show that he's capable of making that weight. Because
he does look. He looks good at both ways. I mean, we've only
youngest
seen
guy to an Ultimate Fight. He's the lowest seed in that Ultimate Fighter series, and he was brilliant
against a monster like Tim Kennedy.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim was very strong in the first rounds, grabbed his back a lot, very good. I mean, obviously, look at the size of him. He's a great grappler.
Well, Tim Kennedy got 3 takedowns, and 2 of those were in the first round at the very early stages of it. So, again, it does show he does come out swinging.
But he's a vet. I mean, he's an old guy, maybe a muscly guy as well. Maybe the cardio just let him down. I'd say was the main reason for that. For Kelvin just exploiting him. On terms of the feet, Kelvin was very, very good.
So next we had, which one fight of the night, deservedly so. We knew it was going to be a show stealer.
Yes.
Both these guys come out swinging, and they did disappoint. It was Cub Swanson, number 4 ranked featherweight, against Doo Ho Choi, Korean Superboy, number 11 ranked featherweight. Which, usually when you're number 4 ranked against number 11th, it might be a bit of a mismatch. No way was this a mismatch.
No,
Both guys going tit for tat.
Up and coming.
Yeah,
he's
a young boy. He's going to be around. As Joe Rogan said, Doo Ho Choi, he looks like a little boy, but he'll knock you out in a second.
I would have put my house that this fight would have gone to a knockout.
Yeah, me too.
And it didn't. It went to a decision.
It went the distance. But I think when you've got 2 guys who are so good at knocking out, they're both very resilient, which
good
you
chins.
saw. Both had great chins on them. Both landing around 52% of their strikes. Significant strikes, again, were very good. Takedowns happened on occurrence, but it was whenever it went to the ground,
was mostly on
the crowd was not happy because they wanted to see these guys stand and trade, which they did.
Which they very much did.
Cub Swanson
could have gone either way.
He won by unanimous decision, but there was no losing this. It was the first time, as we said when we were watching the event, it's the first time that I can recall where when it wasn't the main event and the loser spoke on the mic, because that's how much the fans appreciated both guys for really. This is a dangerous sport, and this was a great example of how dangerous the sport can be. But
I mean, there really could have been injuries in this one.
But it's a great example again of how
hell of a slugfest.
Yeah,
It did go to Cub. I'm sure the last judge called it 30-27, which I found a bit interesting. I don't think.
I think you might give that second round. As the third and first, I would give to Cub. Second, I would maybe say actually no. It's possibly the third, because I think it's a bit unfair on Doo Ho Choi. Well, as you saw, Derek Cleary, he did give one of the rounds to Doo Ho Choi, which I think.
I think watching it could have gone either way, because we just saw these 2 guys just literally battering each other every minute. Looking back on it, I think I'd have to give it to Choi. Cub, sorry.
But again, one of the good things, as we said in our previous episode about fighters stepping up in cards like this one, now with the featherweight division being slightly depleted due to the fact that Connor's left, you've now got 2 guys people are going to want to pay attention to next time they see, they're going to see when these guys are fighting next. Cub Swanson, he was ranked number 4 going into this. Ricardo Lamas hasn't fought in a while. Maybe Cub Swanson versus Frankie Edgar. You've got 2 guys who are right up there in their rankings. You've got either Pettis, you've got Josie Aldo fighting for the belt next against either Holloway or Pettis. This fight, I think, Cub Swanson could be a number 1 contender in the future. And he's an exciting fighter with his knockout punch. People are going to want to see him fight again.
I mean, he never fought Connor as well, did he?
Never fought Connor. No.
I think Lamas was scheduled to, but pulled out at the last minute.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody lost.
Tail of a tank. So hell
of a fight. I'd say my fight of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're going to see a lot of these 2 guys in the future, and everyone's going to be really excited about that. So next fight was Donald Cowboy Cerrone against Matt the Immortal Brown. So a lot of us, and it took him some convincing, but I think he's now he's come to realise it. Welterweight is Donald Cerrone's new home.
Yes, I would agree with that.
He fought a lot at 155, but since he's moved to 170, he's looked invincible. barely has to cut weight.
Looks immortal.
He said on a he said on a Joe Rogan podcast how he barely has to cut weight, which I think is a good thing because when you starve yourself to an extent, you are going to be a lot more weaker. But he looks absolutely monstrous. And
I think this is the perfect way for him.
It was actually, in comparison, this is definitely the toughest fight he's had at welterweight since he's been there.
Oh, Brown looked very good in the opening exchange.
It was the first guy, as I said when we were watching it, that this is someone who's level with him in terms of height, in terms of reach, maybe a bit more in reach.
They train together as well. They know sort of each other's maybe not weaknesses, but maybe tendencies.
I don't know, both out of Jackson.
Maybe.
But again, you saw compared to Rick's story, he towered above him, but this time they were both equal. But Matt Brown, he did land a lot more in the second round. You see that he landed almost double the amount of strikes Cowboy did in the second. So really going to third, it was equal. Both got 10-9 and both rounds separate.
The second equal.
So in the third round, I mean, it was basically a phenomenal
crazy.
Yeah, it was one little slap, and the ref knew straight away he was done. Cowboy just walked away because no point going in for the kill. It was just one kick.
I mean,
boom.
Cowboy's kickboxing in that fight was on another level. I mean, the kicks that he kept planting on Matt Brown's head. I mean, it must have done some serious damage in terms of, Matt's mental state and how the fight was gonna move forward. Cowboy really does look good at 170. That's what I have to say.
Very, very good. And it's again, like I said, recently with the Thompson-Woodley rematch happening, Cerrone's now ranked number 5 at welterweight. Who do you think he should maybe get next? Because we haven't had it announced, but I think the assumption is we are going to have a Woodley-Thompson rematch, which a lot of us do want to see, and I think it needs to happen. He called out. I remember it was just after he was pulled off a 205 card. So it was a very short. I wouldn't say short notice fight for Cerrone, but he's been in fight camp for nearly 3 months now because he was fighting for 205, didn't happen.
And he says he wants to fight
in Denver, in hometown, which we'd all love to see. I don't think again he'll be fighting.
He wants to fight every week, for God's sake. I don't think Dana's going to be very happy with that. But Damian Maia is the name that stands out.
That's the next logical fight, isn't it? Because Carlos Condit coming off a loss. I don't think someone of that should be fighting someone who's on a roll. You fight 2 guys who are as confident as hell right now, and hell, that's probably a number 1 contender fight.
Yes,
Damian Maia versus Donald
I'd say so.
Yeah. So and so like I said, the main event between DC and Rumble was cancelled, so we had a new main event. It was Max Holloway versus Anthony Pettis.
Interim title.
For the interim heavyweight belt. So basically the winner of this was going to fight the newly, I guess you can say crowned, I use the word crowned in inverted commas, against Jose Aldo.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like controversy before the fight. I mean, like we said, this pay-per-view went through the mill in terms of plans changing all the time. And we found out the day before, during the weigh-ins, that Anthony Pettis didn't make weight for the first time in his career.
Missed by 3 pounds.
Yeah, famous lightweight fighter. So going down to 45, he didn't look that healthy, to be honest, I don't think, in his first fight anyway.
He won, but I don't think it was particularly... I mean, he's looked sensational at lightweight, obviously. Was lightweight champ. Was very good. Beat some top guys at lightweight.
Absolutely. But to be honest, I think every single round, if it was a 3-round fight, it would be 30-27 to Holloway. Because he landed takedowns, he landed much more significant strikes, total strikes, and he just looked dominant from the beginning, to be honest. And I think Max Holloway, like I said, he's now on a 10-fight win streak. He hasn't lost since that decision against McGregor, where he didn't look actually that threatened. It was a very equal fight, I think. But
that was just an interesting fight back in the day.
So
I mean, a reason you could say Pettis was a bit apprehensive in the fight. He did break his hand early.
Yeah, his first shot.
First shot
broke his hand,
right
which is always going to be a hindrance if you can't use your hands to punch.
No, I think is he a southpaw? I'm not really sure what leading hand he uses, but
regardless, it's going to be in your mind.
I mean, it's going to definitely inflict how much damage.
You had Holloway as the favourite, and he came in as a favourite. He presented himself as a favourite. He's presenting himself as a champion already in terms of media obligations. I think a lot of people want him to beat Jose Aldo. It'll be a fresh face into the division. It's a guy who's been striving to earn it. It's a new fight, which is good because he's definitely deserving of his title fight.
I mean, a 10-fight win streak. You don't see that very often.
No.
I mean,
a 10-fight win streak and a guy who's not champion. The only
guy that says it all. I think he should have fought Jose Aldo. I'm not sure if Pettis was.
It was originally
deserving enough.
Title, wasn't
I think they should have thrown the belt up in the air. I think they said, "Who wants it?" I think
come get it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Max versus. Because I think Aldo deserved to have a shot at it again. I mean, he was champion for 10 years.
You can't not give a guy like that who's given so much to that division to not get a shot.
Even though he was knocked out in something like 13 seconds. I mean, he's been a veteran. People say he hasn't fought enough in that time.
It's actually, speaking of that fighting day, it is actually a year to the day when it happened.
It was December 12th.
December
Yes,
12th. So
UFC 194.
happy anniversary, Jose Aldo.
Yes. Congrats, Connor.
So yeah, basically, the next on the card, I'm not sure what's going to happen. He said Brooklyn, which the UFC took, will be the second event in New York for the UFC, which is in the Barclays Center, which is an absolutely brilliant arena. So they're going to want to sell that place out. Possibly going to be out of Holloway that night, but I don't think Holloway should step too quickly back into the octagon. I mean, it's one pay-per-view in between. You've got 207 with Rousey and Nunes.
Yes.
But I would like to see him having a bit of a break. Maybe 209, maybe 210 in the summer. That's the next fight's going to happen.
I think that's achievable for the UFC and Max. I mean, Max.
But I like even though Connor's left, I still like the featherweight division because you've got you've got your Aldo Holloways and you got Frankie Edgar's, Cub Swanson, Duho Choi, young gun Yai Rodriguez is fighting BJ Penn in. I'm not sure we're fighting at featherweight because I don't think BJ can make that cut. But he's a guy who can. Yai Rodriguez is he's only 23 years old. He's going to keep getting it. He's against Ricardo Lamas. That guy, he's number 3 ranked. He probably can still throw a punch or two.
Yeah,
We've got Renan Barão moving up into featherweight now ever since he realised he cannot beat Dominic Cruz.
Seems like nobody can. But we'll have to see if Cody can in 207.
Well, actually, let's talk about that because I think we've done with UFC 206. So we said Holloway is now into featherweight champion. He's going to be fighting Jose Aldo next. You've got Donald Cerrone, who is now a legitimate welterweight contender. Cub Swanson, Duho Choi, they stole the show. So let's talk about
the upcoming UFC
207. We'll talk about the two main events. We've got the first one. We've got both bantamweight men's and women's are on the line of this event. You've got Cody Garbrandt, the number 5 ranked bantamweight, against Dominic Cruz, the man who's been holding down that division for how many years now?
Well, I mean, he obviously took a long layoff with injuries.
Yeah.
But came back to win it against TJ Dillashaw in a majority decision. No, split decision. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was a very tough fight. Obviously, TJ still thinks he won that fight. I'm not sure. I think Cruz won that fight.
Nevertheless, you've now got a guy. Even though he's ranked number 5, he's been knocking people's heads off recently. Mitsugaki may be argued is not a legitimate top 10 fighter.
No,
but
he's been beaten by
made
top
quick
guys.
work of him, and this is the money fight in terms of the one the fans want to see. Dillashaw versus Cruz is a fight that one would argue needs to happen, but I think it's the one that people want to see, and I think the way in which Garbrandt called out Cruz after his fight against Mitsugaki at 202, Dominic Cruz wants his fight as well. It's the one that he knows he's going to get more interest from than Dillashaw.
There's some serious rivalry here, just the team alpha male.
You're
right fair with Dominic Cruz. That
Dillashaw as well in the past. It's
that 10-year rivalry has spilled over because Cody Garbrandt's obviously Uriah's Padawan.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that's going to be a very good night. And also after that, with the men's bantamweight, you've got also the women's bantamweight title with the return of arguably the most well-known MMA fighter on the planet in Ronda Rousey. Rowdy Ronda Rousey against Amanda Nunes, who beat Miesha Tate at UFC 200 in the summer. Like we said on the 205 recap show, this belt is playing hot potato, and
it may do again.
I think it's up in the air whether it will again because it's her first fight since losing. You saw Chris Weidman come back after the first fight since losing, didn't go too well, but you've seen other people come back and look even better. So
I mean,
it's going to be good.
People are questioning. I mean, Rousey's number 1 top contender.
Yeah, you keep going about that.
It's true. I like Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, but
I don't know whether she's number 1 top contender.
If you think about it, the previous number 1 contenders have all lost as well.
That is true.
So it's hard to. I mean, we also got announced a couple of days ago. The bantamweight division is becoming all more clearer now because in Denver at the end of January next month, you've got Juliana Pena against Valentina Shevchenko, who beat Holly Holm in the summer. So logic speaks that winner of those two is going to fight the winner of Rousey versus Nunes. So a lot of clarity in the bantamweight division, which I think is good compared to a lot of divisions like the lightweight, like your featherweight.
Who have you got in that fight? Just interesting.
Rousey. I'll say Rousey. Rousey, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, she hasn't fought for a year. It's going to be interesting to see how she does.
And the way Nunes just dismantled Tate, she's no gimme. She's a legit fighter.
Yeah, 100%.
So we'll just quickly. We're not going to go into much detail about them, but we've also got Fabrizio Verdum fighting Cain Velasquez, and that's a number 1 contender fight to see. He's going to fight Stephen Miocic next for the heavyweight belt. Both former champions. Verdum beat Velasquez.
Yes, he did.
To become champion. So that's a great rematch to have. And we've also got another number 1 contender fight between the man who thinks he should be fighting for the belt this night, TJ Dillashaw.
Number 1 contender. I mean...
yeah, number 1 contender usually thinks he should. And then you've got the number 2 contender, John Lineker, who recently beat John Dodson, who moves out from flyweight to bantamweight because little man Mighty Mouse cannot be stopped, who recently also beat Tim Elliott. which was actually a really good fight.
Yes.
I was very surprised with that. I was thinking, Ultimate Fighter.
Tim Elliott looked good.
He looked really good. And as John Anik said on the fight that night, we've now got a new guy, so many fresh fights. Have you got Tim Elliott, Benavidez, Tim Elliott, Cejudo, Tim Elliott, who else? Bring back Dodson. I don't know.
Yes. Well,
it's DJ as well. We're all living in it.
Benavidez beat Cejudo, which I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Does that set him up for a third fight?
Technically, but do we really want to see that? Because I think the fact that he's one off breaking the record of consecutive title defense, it needs to be a big opponent on a big stage.
I like to see DJ move up to bantamweight, fight Cruz for the title. When Cruz beats Garbrandt.
You can't fight to win the bantamweight.
Yeah, that'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
That'd be very good.
I mean, because they've already fought before, and Cruz won that fight. Back in the day.
There'd be no argument as well of whether, because we had the argument of did Conor deserve to go straight to the lightweight division and get the shot straight away. I don't think there'd be any argument at all whether DJ would deserve a title shot on bantamweight because he
fights pretty regularly, wins regularly.
Exactly.
I mean,
so yeah, that is basically. I think obviously we've got UFC 207 coming December the 30th, night before New Year's Eve. So for everyone living in the UK, obviously just stay up 2 nights in a row, which will be fun.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is it again from our UFC recap. I'm Tom.
I'm Jamie.
Yep. See you later, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks very much.